Hello, welcome. New Tales Retold, episode 29.
Yep.
And I thought it would be a fluffy week with
Oh.
Comic Con, but turns out Comic Con was just a cosplay party.
Well, you have to remember,
Um,
it's for Comic Con for us is New York Comic Con, so it's
yeah,
like we don't really get too many reveals and
yeah, that's
stuff. We got a
true.
few. We got the Dragon Ball movie. It looks okay, decent
Yeah,
animations. Art is
from what I know, it was just a lot of animated stuff that was
was
kind
it
of being
okay?
shown.
Yeah.
On top of some dope ass cosplays, I've been,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
of
I've been
course
going
it's
through.
Comic Con, bro.
Yeah, but one thing that has to be like pointed out too is because I'm pretty sure there are people out there thinking to themselves, "Oh man, Comic Con was whack." It's like, yeah, because we had Comic Con what, a year, 2 years ago, and then what's that, October, and then come in 2018, and then come
2020.
2019, and then come 2020
Yeah,
March,
everything closed.
countrywide pretty shut down. And then
Crunchyroll's like basically worldwide.
worldwide, yeah.
Yeah.
We were just one of the late ones. Everybody was way ahead of it. But this week we have a few things that we finally seen Venom. Let There Be Carnage. We
Yes.
have our season finale of What If, and we've finally watched Squid Game. Which, yeah, let's start off with Venom. Let There Be Carnage. I might stop for one moment because I feel like you sound a little low, so I'm gonna raise you up a tad.
I sound a little low?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sound really low. I look like, according to the computer, it says my volume is pretty low.
Alrighty. It should be better now. But yeah.
Oh, it might be too loud. Nah, leave it.
Yeah. Cool.
I'd
All
rather
right.
you overhear me
Yeah,
than not
right.
hear me.
So Venom Let There Be Carnage. I was a little nervous at first going in because of the movie length. It being an hour and a half was kind of concerning.
And I think that was a problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, and after seeing it, yeah, if you think when you think about it, because with the little bit that we received, it did flow at the pace it could flow at because it was only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure if that was like the director, if that was Andy Serkis's doing, or if that was the studio's doing. But regardless, I don't know. They should have made it just a tad bit longer, 20 minutes even.
I
They could
feel
have
like
added so much more detail.
an hour and a half would have worked, or maybe even an hour and 45. It was if it was like a horror movie, because horror
Yeah.
movies are usually short. It's because they're short, sweet, and to the point.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have made this, it's like a more of a horror style. They wouldn't have necessarily needed to go so far into some of the characters, but because they wanted to make it more comedy slash drama and make it all about the characters rather it being horror,
Mm-hmm.
it just like it didn't live up to the potential it could have, because you could have fleshed out so much more making it longer.
Yeah.
At least in a horror aspect, that's all you have to worry about is the horror side of it.
Yeah.
So being an hour and a half, hour 45 would have been fine, because it would have been all about scaring people and it looking
Yeah.
creepy and everything.
That's true because the overall, I guess what do you call it? Plot. It's pretty simple. Cassidy, former serial killer, or serial killer, and investigate. He gets investigated by Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock was the reason why he's in jail, and then from there, like every serial killer, just
Wait,
wants.
Eddie Brock was the reason he was in jail?
Yeah,
No.
he mentioned it a few times.
No,
He mentioned how it was because of him. Because of him, he was in there, and that's why when Cassidy had escaped, and then Eddie didn't have Venom. He was there like,
no, they
oh
not
shit.
that he was in jail because of him. It was because Venom solved Cassidy's backstory, remember?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Prior to that, Cassidy being like physically there, that's why Cassidy. They mentioned that's why Cassidy only wanted to speak to Eddie, because Eddie was the reason he was pretty much caught to begin with.
But that can't be, because Eddie met him in the first Venom and he was already in jail in the after credit scene.
See, that's the thing. That's what got me confused
'Cause-
watching it, because I
so
was watching it and they kept talking about how Eddie put him in jail, and I was just there like,
no, Eddie
but
did
we
not.
didn't see any of that.
Eddie
Like,
didn't.
how are we supposed to
That's not
know?
what they meant. Eddie didn't put him in jail. Eddie put him back on death row,
Okay.
because he was taken out of death row because he was willing to talk to Eddie about where he put the bodies. of the people he killed. But because of Venom, Eddie ended up finding the bodies anyway without speaking to him. So because of that, he was put back on
Okay.
death row.
Understand now.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that obviously you don't really need much of an explanation for. That happens. And then his little backstory with him being a serial killer,
Yeah.
a troubled kid, meeting of another criminally insane person, and they fall in love, which turns out
It's
to be Shriek.
it's kind of arguable, criminally insane, because I feel like Cassidy, he argued that he was that way because he just wanted a friend. But it's kind of hard to believe when you're like 7 years old and you kill your parents and your grandmother.
Yeah.
And all you wanted was a friend.
Yeah.
But they never said why she was at that home. Only that she had her powers. That seemed like the only reason why she was at that home. So I don't think she started off insane like Cassidy, where he seemed like he was born a crazy person. It seems like she became that because of the way they treated her, because she had those powers.
I have a question. What was the institute they were in the New Mutants? Wasn't it
I didn't watch that movie.
Wasn't it Ravencroft?
Was it Ravencroft?
Because funny enough, Shriek is in the comics a mutant.
Yeah.
And I don't, people were like, oh, I think Black Widow, the first mutant, this guy. This would be more of the first mutant in the MCU, because she was actually involved.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why she was there in the institute.
If the after credit is him going to the MCU, she's not in the MCU because only Venom was grabbed.
True.
And Eddie, so technically she's in a completely different universe.
True. Okay, we'll get to, because you just had me think about something. Cool. We'll get to. But yeah, we have our Venom story, we have our Eddie Brock story, we have Cletus' story, Shriek's story, and then it all ties up into one little ball over in the movie. And I don't know. It was because the stories and their backgrounds were so, I guess you can say, simple and so easily explained within a 5 to 10 minute explanation. It left the rest of the movie just like, I don't know. I felt like even though it was an hour and a half, it still kind of dragged.
So I see. So your problem with it was they gave us all the information on their backstories and left no mystery.
Yeah, it was like, here's information, and then the whole movie, which I do appreciate, was a lot of Eddie and Venom, like, relationship building and character development.
Comedy.
But yeah, that was another thing too. It was just straight comedy. It was, what was the whole point of him going to that rave party with people in the costumes? Like, oh, I don't know. It's just, it's not Venom.
It's not.
It's not Venom. It's literally, he was talking about eating people's brains, and the next thing you know, he's at a party, like dancing with people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I didn't like the whole comedy side of it. The way they put way too many jokes, and they wanted to make all it like everything's a joke around them, and it's just like, bruh, Venom and Carnage are monsters. Literally, they eat people because they want to. We don't even know if they do it because they have to. For all we know, they do it because they want to.
Yeah, right. And one thing that is a little, because in the first Venom, our after credit was showing Carnage was coming, right? But as we see in the movie, he didn't actually get the Carnage symbiote until he bit Eddie's hand.
Yeah.
Which I believe that's Carnage. If I remember correctly, that is how Carnage originated, off of offspring of Venom.
Yeah,
or somehow
that's all I know is they said that Carnage was just the offspring of Venom.
Which is
I don't
cool.
remember how.
Which I respect that. They throw some accuracy, huh?
He called him father.
Yeah, right.
And not you, father.
Yeah, not you, father. With the priest.
See, that's maybe comedy.
Yeah, so we had our little our quick, hey, here's our villains, here's our good guy. They're all gonna go through some like little back and forth, and then what gets me to speaking of the comedy part, what gets me is his former wife, and then the husband gets involved, the wife's new husband. I don't know. It felt very, I guess you could say, MCU.
Corny.
Yeah, because it started off great when Carnage's introduction.
That was badass.
I was sitting there like, let's go.
Let there be
This is
carnage.
real. Yeah. I was like, holy
I
crap.
found it
The
so corny that they
visual,
actually said it.
he looked crazy. Like what I was waiting for though was for him to just turn on the prisoners as well. Like there be no like
He
because
did.
he was just fighting the guards and the prisoners are like they're cheering, yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah, but then at one point they stopped
did
cheering
they?
because his thing started going everywhere and started
Yes, yes,
attacking
that's
everyone.
right. Yes. So that was cool, and I liked that the very like spider web like thing that Venom had,
Mm-hmm.
Carnage had going, and then the what is it? The famous little
Which is all
like
we saw.
hammer, like sword
I was
hammer
so
thingies.
disappointed. That's all we saw.
Yeah,
We
and the
saw the
shot.
two axes, and then after that, it was just strings of
Mm,
himself going everywhere. I'm like, damn, I wish we would have saw all the weapons, at least most of the weapons he had, like the
yeah,
freaking hammer spike. Like there was a
yeah,
few of them that he
that's
had that he
true.
used in the comic book. That would have been badass to see.
That's true. Cause yeah, that was cool. The build up toward him. This guy killed. Obviously, he's just a great actor. He killed as being a psychopathic serial killer.
Yeah,
Um,
he really did. That was great.
he's always good at those really, really crazy roles. Yeah, it seems like we're jumping everywhere just because I don't know. It was very. It seemed like a very rushed movie. A lot of it was just, hey, here. Like I said, here's our heroes and our villains, and then we're gonna have Venom and Eddie go through a little spat, and then Venom's just gonna leave him and apparently jump around to other people, and those people aren't gonna think anything of it. I guess they're just gonna go home and be like, hey, what happened to me?
No,
Um.
they died.
So each of those people that Venom jumped into
They
died.
died. They couldn't handle him. That's why he was jumping from people to people.
Oh shit. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, all those people died. Yeah, that was a big reason why he wanted to be with Eddie because Eddie was compatible with him.
Yeah, and Eddie can handle him.
Yeah,
That sucks. Man, when he started destroying Eddie's car, I mean bike, that was
that was funny.
hilarious. That
I
was
have a quick
funny.
question though.
Mm.
In the comic books, wasn't Eddie Brock sick?
You're thinking, I'm pretty sure
Or am I
you're
thinking the
thinking
wrong
about the
character?
newest comic series, which I started reading, but it's been I want to say like a month, and I had read what was had been released up until
Mm-hmm.
then. It wasn't necessarily. It was a more adult, serious tone version of what happened here in the movie with them kind of with Eddie and Venom having this spat between each other, but instead of it being comedic and all like ha ha
Yeah,
ha, like Venom fully was like I'm out, and even better, Venom didn't even need another host. He literally separated himself, full formed, and even like transformed himself to look like a human. And kept it moving. That was such an awesome thing to see in the comic book.
yeah, because I remember reading something where it's like Eddie needed Venom and Venom needed Eddie. That was the biggest reason for them two being connected.
Yeah.
That Venom needed Eddie to stay alive, and Eddie needed Venom because he was dying, and Venom was keeping him alive.
He has in the comics, Eddie has much more psychological and
Problems.
mental trauma
Yeah.
than he does in the MCU. In the MCU, they just make it seem like he's just some guy who works for the Daily Bugle,
Yeah.
and that's it.
But
You know,
that's
he just so happened
yeah,
to
that
bump
was the
into the
reason why
Venom
Venom was
symbiote.
bad because he attached himself to Eddie, and Eddie had all these problems, and symbiotes enhance your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
which they mentioned in the movie so much. So it's like all of those negative emotions Eddie felt in the comic book was just brought out even more by Venom, which made them like bad.
Yeah, which it's like I guess they're trying to go in that direction. It would have been cool if they would have sticked with his somewhat like comic development where he was a villain in the beginning. He
Yeah.
started off as a villain in the beginning and then over time worked his way into the anti-hero.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't even still call him a hero because he's still killing people.
And it's
But
and it's also on top of the fact that he only helped when he deemed it was necessary.
yeah, like
Like
it's like, oh, the
all
whole world's about to die.
yeah.
All right,
I
I
might as well
guess.
help. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like which is like there's a lot of villains that are like that, which is like, oh man, if it's my problem too, okay, I'll help
Like
out.
this guy, that really brolic magic user. I can't believe I can't remember
Doctor
his
Voodoo.
name. No,
Are you thinking about the Hood?
no. Molecule Man.
Oh no, yeah, Molecule Man. Honestly, that's someone they'll never introduce into the MCU.
No, no, but I'm
He's
saying like,
way too broken.
but I'm saying like that was kind of like how he was. He was a
Mm-hmm.
villain, but when it came down to like end of the world, end of the universe
Yeah,
type shit, he was like, all right, I'm gonna help you guys.
yeah, yeah. Because he literally, he could. I mean,
His name alone says it.
without steering away too much from Venom, but like he literally, he helped defeat the Beyonders, like
Yeah.
along with Doom and Strange. So it's like he's just maybe we get him. Hopefully, Multiverse of Madness. You never know. But yeah, Venom Let There Be Carnage was okay. I really hope Carnage isn't like dead, because he technically. Let's jump to the fight. So we have
Yeah.
finally our final fight. Venom versus Carnage, and the fight was cool to see Carnage like when he was like going across the building, making himself bigger,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, this is getting awesome. But during the fight, somehow, even though it's fully acknowledged that Carnage is the stronger symbiote,
Yeah.
literally Venom tries to hide. He hasn't eaten in God knows how long.
Yeah.
And then right during the fight, when he's under all the rubble, all he needed was a motivational talk, and then that was good enough for him to get up and defeat Carnage.
Yeah. Really. Emphasis. He's a red one. Like, okay, and
Yeah, and there was
what about a red one?
Mm-hmm.
What's so dangerous about him? Are they stronger, more like
Yeah.
lethal? Like, what is it?
Is it because he's just born that he's immediately in his prime?
Yeah, like,
Like-
I don't. Yeah, like what's the? You mentioned him being red. What's the
Mhm.
significance in that?
That's true, because that implies that the color of a symbiote has
Means something.
significance, and we
Yeah.
didn't hear that in the first one when he
Nope.
fought Riot.
Who's blue, right?
So Riot was like a grayish.
Which is gray color. Okay.
Yeah, like a grayish color.
I don't think he's dead. I think he took over the officer.
You think Carnage took over the officer?
Yeah, I think that was a little sign to show that Carnage is still in play.
Well, in the comic books, the officer, Officer McGullen, actually becomes Toxin.
And Toxin was an offspring
Toxin-
of Carnage. Was he not?
That much I don't remember, but and then I don't want to say quote something and
Yeah,
I'm
of
wrong.
course.
Yeah, that much I don't remember. I just know that the cop, and Toxin,
Okay.
Together, but. I don't know. It's like, how do you make that the third? How do you make Toxin the third? Like, villain after Carnage, of all the symbiotes after Carnage. Like, honestly, after Carnage, you gotta bring Null. Like, who else are you gonna bring to
Toxin was even stronger. In the comic books,
yeah.
Carnage and Venom had to work together to defeat Toxin.
That would be interesting to see. But it's like, what are we
Oh,
gonna
he
get?
was.
Another hour movie?
He was born from Carnage.
Toxin was born from Carnage.
Yep,
Okay.
he was the 1,000th symbiote in his lineage.
So
Wow, he was the most dangerous symbiote ever shown, besides Null.
yeah, no. This is what concerns me with the movie is like Null. So far, I haven't finished the Null story, but so far it's insane.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh man, I really hope they don't ruin it. I hope they don't try to put it into the MCU and do what they just did, an hour and 20-minute movie, and just slap it all together like in this. I don't know.
I feel like the reason why this movie was so short and so like whatever is because they wanted to get this movie over with, show Carnage, and introduce Venom into the MCU.
Yep, and it seemed like that was literally the whole point of the
Yeah.
movie, because then we get the after credit scene which he's on some island.
Yeah.
I guess he's on an island by himself. He's like, I'm just gonna seclude myself because he's wanted. And what a way to help him from not being wanted anymore. He literally goes to a whole other universe, which I would like some sort of explanation on that.
We're gonna get an explanation in one
Like-
of the movie in Multiverse of Madness, most likely.
Because he said he's connected to all the symbiotes throughout their respective universe, and he's like, let me share all this information with you, and then sharing that information just causes them to teleport.
No, he didn't. He says when he says let me share it with you and all that starts happening, Eddie's like, what's happening? And Venom's like, this is not me. So it's like at that moment Venom was gonna show him, which again Venom said you would die.
Yeah, he's like, you probably won't be able to handle
Yeah.
everything, so I'll just
So I
give
guess-
you just a little bit.
Just so
Yeah.
something doesn't happen to Eddie. They're like, let's just do that. and then something happened and it sent him. Which my only thought was it was like an orange yellowish color, and he got sent to another universe. It's Spider-Man when Doctor Strange did the spell.
Ah, I like that.
And it most likely pulled a bunch of villains from all these Spider-Man stuff. It pulled Venom. It pulled Doc Ock.
It pulled
Electro. If Willem Dafoe is playing Green Goblin. It's just funny. I heard a cool little theory which I wanted to ask you about. In the trailer, it didn't show who Doc Ock was talking to, right?
No, he just said hello, Peter.
Forgot who I was talking. I think I was talking to Dennis, and he was like, he thinks that Doc Ock wasn't talking to Tom Holland, Peter. He was probably talking to Peter Parker.
Because how
Tobey
else would he
Maguire.
know Tom Holland is Peter? It's a complete different look.
Spider-Man.
But you know what I mean? Like if he sees,
It's Spider-Man though.
yeah,
He's
I
the
know. You know what it is?
Spider-Man.
I'm just thinking about like the different Spider people, Miles and Gwen.
Yeah,
and
but they
all
don't
this.
know any of
Yeah.
that. Remember, he gets sent to another universe, looks around, and it's like, oh, Spider-Man. It's like, oh, Peter.
Yeah,
It's like,
I can't wait for that.
yeah, it
But
was gonna be dope.
yeah, it seemed like, and it's funny because it also makes sense. The fact that this movie was literally like almost dedicated to just putting him into the MCU.
Yeah.
Because you get a short movie, which with the Venom, with the Carnage story, it's like if you see when you see what they did, you can pull it off in an hour and a half, and it may not be the best, but you can do it. And then that's it. And it's like it'll be disappointing if his next movie is all of a sudden like 2.5 hours, and it's like, damn. So you guys literally threw this movie out the window just to put him into the MCU. Like I hope that's not the case, but
I mean,
we'll see.
I feel like the MCU would probably do a better job.
So
debatable.
yeah,
It's debatable.
because they did bring the PG-13 aspect to its limit, and I respected that. Like except for Carnage should have done more than just slap people around.
Well, he went to go buy people head off, and then it panned the view away.
Yeah.
But it's like if you show it, it's gonna have to be PG rated R.
So, but you could stick your whole Venom tongue down somebody's body.
I mean, there's no blood.
Right. But yeah, let's see what happens. We get Spider-Man this
French
Christmas.
kiss.
It was a French kiss. Yeah, so we'll get to that. Now, next thing, because I'm so eager to talk about this. Oh man, Squid Game. The hype. I understand why the hype is there. Well, first of all, I thought it was a great show. It was a good show.
It was good.
Actors phenomenal.
Oh yes.
The actors were
Thought it was-
great.
Yeah.
Like some of them
thought that
had
was
me
the
had me
best part.
wanting to cry.
I thought that was the best part of the entire show. Was the
Right?
was the acting. I thought it was great.
Yeah, fantastic. The idea of these kid games being a life or death situation is just like
Yeah, it's pretty
mind blowing. But I understand the hype because it gave us that like those big what the fuck moments was very the same hype Game of Thrones had with the big what the fuck moments.
Yeah.
Red Wedding, Ned getting killed, like all these moments where you're like you kind of know what's gonna happen, but you're like no it's not,
Yeah.
and then it happens, and I was like, all right, I could see why, because it's very like mind blowing moments like that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy moments and intense moments, but honestly, I kind of expected and predicted a lot of what was gonna happen. Honestly,
Yeah.
right off the bat, I knew that this guy with the mask on was the detective's brother.
Did you? I did not
called
expect
literally
that.
The moment they introduced the detective and he was looking for his brother, I'm like, that's the guy with the mask.
Yeah,
That's the guy
that I
with the
didn't expect.
And then the old man being a part of the games, I called that. I saw that and I'm like, he has to be a part of the game. Because the one thing that I noticed, which is funny, and I would have never noticed this if it wasn't for Alondra telling Sid to pay attention to every detail, honestly.
I wonder if it's
She
the
said-
same moment you noticed. Go ahead.
Almost off the bat, I noticed it because he was the only old person in the entire thing.
Okay.
Everyone was at an age where they're fit enough
Yeah,
to
go
do
through the game.
everything. He was the only one that wasn't.
And how convenient that he left before the glass jumping game.
Yeah,
But
and look at that. Yeah. He left
here's-
right before that.
here's what made me realize it was him. It was the old guy all along.
Yeah.
Give him a whole theme song. When I'm sorry, can you pull up cast, because I don't want to keep saying this guy, that guy, and there were so many characters I don't remember everyone's name.
Oh, and please forgive us if we
Yeah, if
butcher
we
these
butcher these
names.
names, cause yeah, I knew it was him when the cop's brother, the guy with the golden, with the black like
Yeah.
shiny mask, when he got off the phone, the camera, there was a quick image of the person he was talking to, right? But it wasn't the person. All it showed was their hands. And when you saw the hands, they were old man hands. And when I saw that, I was like, I looked at Beth and I was like, it's the old guy. The old guy's behind everything. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, just watch. The old guy's behind everything. And then it would that was the most mind blowing part.
Yeah.
But I want to go to the first mind blowing part, which was red light, green light, right in the beginning. All these people who are just and what a way to take advantage, right? All these people who are like on the brink of like
Yeah.
total financial and like social collapse in their life, and they're like, here's an opportunity to make a money that you wouldn't, you would only dream of.
Yeah.
That first shot that goes off in red light, green light. It's like I saw it coming. Like you
Such a
saw it
human
coming.
thing to do.
You saw
What
it coming,
everyone
but
did.
then you're like, nah, they didn't just shoot him. I'm like, okay, he walks up to him, and then the moment they noticed that he was shot, everyone started running. I was like, no way, they're all gonna die.
Yeah.
They're all gonna die.
And that was caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Like everyone started running, and then they all started getting shot. I'm like, wow. They all were willing to go there, but the moment they realized their life was at stake, they didn't want to be there anymore. They
Yo,
all
and they,
ran.
oh
and
my
like and it
god!
costed all of them their life.
Immediately, 100 and like almost half the people off the bat, game
Yeah.
one, dead. Like, imagine being the person that stood still, that was able to, keep that willpower to stay still in that
Yep.
situation after the shooting stopped. Like, you're just there, like, how do you continue moving? You probably don't even want to move. You're just like, all right, I'm just going to stay right here.
Yeah.
Like, and then throughout that game, man, what was his name? The young boy, the Pakistani kid.
Oh, Ali.
Yo, Ali saving.
Yeah.
What was the main
Gihan.
character's name?
Gihan.
Say it again.
Gihan.
Gihan.
I don't know if that's how
Ali
you pronounce
saving
it, but
Gihan's, or no, wasn't it Su Young?
no.
Who
Gihan.
was Su Young?
Bioic. Say Bioic was the chick, the main chick.
Okay, but yeah, him grabbing him by the collar and just holding.
Say Bioic. Say Bioic. That's how you say it. Say Bioic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yo,
when he was holding him, yeah, he saved his life, bro. I was like, what?
what's fun, but risked his own, because
He could
who's
have
to,
fallen.
yeah, or who's to say him? Let's say letting go, the machine detects him moving.
Yeah.
Like his finger was going like that, and it's like, oh, he moved.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't have worked that way because remember, she said it's all about line of sight. If you stay behind someone, you're safe.
And he was behind him.
So his fingers were hidden, holding him.
Yeah,
So even if he would have moved his fingers, they wouldn't have noticed it.
that's true. That's true. Funny enough, though, that first game showed that you can interfere with other people without telling us yet. We saw later on when this guy beat the other guy to death in the in the room. Yeah, that because the girl was taunting him like, ha ha ha. Like, I'm gonna mess with you now. He was shitting on himself. He's just like, no, don't get me killed. Yeah, that first game was wild, and then
That guy was a dickhead.
yeah, for real. And what's funny is in the beginning,
Dioic that's his name.
what's his name?
Dioic Su.
Yoic Su. That's the guy with the tattoo.
Dioic, yeah.
Yoic Su.
Mm.
Yeah, he was a great character too, because you can even see, like, even though he was this big tough bad guy, he would have those moments where you would see that he's like, and the actor did it really well. Yeah, like, he could tell he was just like, it was all an act. Like, he would have the moment where he's like scared.
No, I wouldn't say it was an act. It was more so of, at first he thought he was untouchable because of who he was on the outside, and now he's in this place where everybody is equal.
Mm-hmm. And I respected that. That was the biggest thing that I really respected. Everyone had to be equal, which, in hindsight, when you think about the old man, he physically isn't equal to everybody. The glass game, especially jumping through the bridge, that's a game that he most likely, if he was just a normal person playing, he probably wouldn't have made it.
You think he was lying the whole time and he knew what games were gonna come up?
No.
You think he really didn't know what games they were gonna play?
Yeah, and I say that because he was dying and he was at the point of boredom.
And he didn't care if he died playing these games.
So I think he probably
No,
knew. Maybe he
they
knew.
wouldn't have killed him. They didn't kill him.
That's true. They didn't kill
So
him.
he would have lost, but he wouldn't have died.
Yeah, but then what would have happened if he would have moved in red light, green light?
That's a good question. But then again, it makes sense that he would know what game was going to be
And
played.
what would they have done if he didn't win in Honeycomb when everybody was standing there, or in Tug of War? Those were all games where he had the full possibility of losing in front of everyone. So it's like, how do you not? Well, Tug of War, he would have died anyway. But the first two, it had to, the people running the thing had to take the target, had to take them out. So it's like, how would you have done that? Oh, we'll take him out in the back. Like, you know what I mean? The whole point of the game, of you showing everyone, everything's equal.
Or you can have a specific person that only person's the one that has to kill him and has blanks.
Right? I don't know.
That's the only way I could see. They have this one specific person, and that person is the only person that is allowed to, quote unquote, kill him.
Yeah.
The only one that doesn't make sense is the Tug of War one.
Yeah, he could have, he could have died.
No.
But then again, he said he knew how to win.
Yes, he knew how to win. That's true. So he would have never lost. He would have been everyone.
Before we go to Tug of War, the second game, Honeycomb.
Oh, yes, Honeycomb.
Never heard of the game before the show. But man, that was the moment where we started to see what was his friend's name? His childhood friend that went to the university and everything, and his
That
mom.
was his. I thought they were brothers.
No, he was a childhood friend. He was one of the kids that were there in the beginning when they were telling us about Squid Game.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why they both knew the rules off the bat.
That was them. I don't know why I took that. I thought that was the old man when he was younger. That's why that kid was so good at the game.
That's a good question.
Remember, the old man, you saw about how great he was at all these games. And he was every game they mentioned, he was like, "Oh, I beat everybody. I never lost."
Yeah.
And
because them two knew Squid Game, like they didn't even need to hear the rules.
Yeah.
Like they didn't, like the guy that said the rules, he didn't mention the one leg thing. And he immediately was on one leg.
This guy said that was a famous South Korean kid game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
So
no, yeah, he even says it.
Yeah.
The main character mentions it. Them playing that when they were younger.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, game 2, that's a hard ass game. That Honeycomb game, like to have those shapes in the umbrella shape is insane.
Yeah.
Like how do you supposed to carve that out? And what gets me is that's when we start to see like that selfishness amongst everybody.
Real quick though, when they found the pocket knife, it was on that like the bully guy, right? And they didn't do anything to him.
Yeah, we'll get to that because I have like a little thing of like, I guess you could say little plot holes that I.
The reason why I say that is because it makes me wonder, would they have done anything to this chick with the lighter?
That's funny because, well, since we're on that game, yeah. So I had thought about that when we were watching. I thought to myself, how the hell don't any of them notice that she's doing that?
You should be able to smell it.
Smell it, see it, like, you know what I mean? Like you're in a enclosed room. If I pull a lighter out right now, you'll probably see it on the camera.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. Yeah, that didn't make sense to me.
I feel like they let her do it.
But then again, that takes out the fairness of playing the game.
Yeah. Then again, it's a strategy.
How did she bring it? Oh, she
pocketed it. She put it in her.
Yeah. Her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an intense game, and that's when we start to see the corruption amongst people. Everyone's starting to like really realize like this is life or death. Like, and the fact that his homeboy knew the game they were playing and let him pick the umbrella anyway. That's what he had really good like that. He was a great character because we saw that throughout every game. That like I'm gonna fake trust everybody, but
Yeah.
turn on everyone at the
He was a
same
great
time.
villain.
Great villain. Hell yeah, he was a great
Like
villain.
minor villain. A great
Yeah,
minor villain. Well, then again, he was the last person the main character had to face.
yeah,
It was like the Squid Game is the villain of the overall series, but he was the villain for the season.
yeah. Right. That's so true. That's so true. Let's go to the third game, and then I want to talk about before we get to the fourth game. I want to talk about the cop.
Okay.
Um,
Tug of war.
yeah, tug of war. Third game. By this time, they got people. What's funny is even before that, everyone started teaming. Like, yo, let's stay together. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll help each other out. But then even before that game, that's when we had that's when the homie with the tattoo beat the other guy down.
Yeah.
And then the guards do nothing, and we see, oh shit, you can take out players even outside the games, and that's a whole different. I didn't expect, because what I expected from the games was we're going to make this, even though obviously the whole situation was just a terrible situation. Like, who the hell would do all this?
Yeah.
But I figured they were gonna make it super fair. Like, you do your game, at the end of the game, everyone will wash up, eat, rest up, and we'll have everyone fresh for the next game. So everyone's, even though it's life or death, because it's life or death, we're gonna try to have the players at the peak of their, at what they can be.
That was a part of the game. Cause he said it. Cause the way he was talking about it when they turned off the lights is as if they were starting a game. Remember, he said, "Start it now," and then the lights started flashing while all the fighting was happening.
Yeah, like they brought up the the intensity.
Yeah, like like it was a part of the game. Like it was a low key game on its own, fighting each other in between.
Yo, insane.
Another thing that happened before tug of war, in between game 1, game 2, and game 3, was the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor, which it was, I guess you could say, a minor part in the show. Like,
It
you
goes
had
to
your
show how true to their word the runners were.
yeah, because
remember, they was not equal anymore because they were giving this guy an edge, and they killed them all. And they were like, "This is because everything is supposed to be equal."
yeah, they were telling him the games that were coming up, which was surprising because by now we already just before tug of war, we already had the impression that the people in the red outfits were disposable. Like, at least the shape determined how important you were.
Another thing too, I don't know if you caught, after all that happened, the guy who was running all the organ stuff was never caught. The square that was taking out all the recordings, all the cameras, so they were not seen. He was never caught.
Yeah, because how are they to know that it was him?
He was the one that went up to guy with the black mask.
They did know, and this is why I say that. Because after all that happened, and the guy with the black mask finally approaches everyone that was doing that, he sat there and he knew that they were doing that.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't care what you do with their bodies or their organs.
Yeah.
Which means he knew that square
You think so?
was deleting he knew the whole time and was just letting it happen until he found out they were telling him the next game.
But he didn't kill him, and if he was a part of it,
they probably didn't show it off screen because remember after that they had the bodies hanging.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how many there were.
There was 3. There was the other circle that was number 28, and the 2 triangles that were working with the doctor.
That's true, because technically the square wasn't cheating. He was just deleting the footage. He wasn't telling him. He was a part of the organ stealing.
Yeah.
He wasn't part of the, hey, this is what the next game is.
That's true. He didn't necessarily agree to tell the doctor. He just wanted the organs to sell them. But then again, or maybe that guy didn't know, and this square guy is just really low key.
Right? Super low key, right?
It would make sense too to kind of make sure he's not thrown with all of them. What's the best thing to do? Go up to him and tell him what's happening. Like, yo, I saw these people, and now someone has escaped. There's an intruder.
Yeah.
Unless the square guy was telling this guy the whole time, yo, I'm going to use these people to grab some organs.
Yeah, right? And he's just like, okay. No, you can make whatever money you want on the side. It's funny because it's like, it's not like he cares anyway, because it's like, if I don't need you at some point, I'll just get rid of you.
Yeah, exactly.
And one other thing we get before tug of war is we have the cop the officer of his brother had gone missing. Of it turned out to be the
Yeah.
guy in the black mask. Him infiltrating everything. What gets me is how he did it. Like, if the people that were donating the organs, if the guy with the black mask knew the entire time,
Mm-hmm.
how didn't he get caught?
What do you mean?
The cop. Like, he never got caught. He was switching masks, jobs, even being questioned by some people.
Well,
And
he only
never
got
caught.
questioned by the one square guy, which he killed,
Yeah.
and number
Well,
28.
he got killed.
No, remember? Cause didn't he have to fight him? No,
No,
he
see-
died because this guy was fighting back and he killed him during
Right?
during Honeycomb.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to see if you see it, but you don't.
Oh, like on my side?
So
funny.
yeah, he was killed. And that's how he found the mask.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I love that they thought about this detail. When he took the square mask and he put it on, the square masks were the leaders. Means they would have to know all the rules, everything to
Yeah.
say. They would have to know everything, almost everything about the game. And that cop didn't know anything. So all I thought was, how is he gonna play that off? But he
Mhm.
didn't keep the mask. Eventually, he was just like, let me go
Yeah.
back to being a circle.
Yeah, because it's like, how did he played it off in one moment when they were like, "What are you doing?" He turned around, he had the
Because
mask
you're not
on.
supposed to speak
Unless
you're
you're superior.
the triangle guy was there like, oh man. And it's funny too because the triangle guy said something back, and all I thought was, "Are you supposed to stay?" Did he? I
Yeah.
remember him saying something back after he said, "Oh, you're not supposed." Didn't he like apologize
No,
or
he-
something, or did he stay silent?
Yeah, I think he did stay silent.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't know why I
just
thought he
looked at him like,
apologized.
homie.
Yeah.
He's probably shitting on himself. Like, yo, almost got caught. But yeah, so by this time the cop is like mingling, doing his little mini investigation.
That Morse code part was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Hell
The guy
yeah.
doing Morse code through coughing.
Uh-huh.
Like, yo, that was genius.
For real. For real. Then what sucked is that guy, whenever it showed the cop sleeping, that guy crying.
No, he wasn't crying.
He
was
wasn't?
coughing in Morse code.
I don't remember
Remember,
that.
he said it's Morse code and he started typing it on his phone? That was the guy coughing. He was trying to contact him to let him know we're doing the organ thing. So stay with me.
Oh.
That's why he said something, and then then the
Okay.
last part was number 29. Like, I'm talking to you.
Okay, I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, then we get Tug of War. Yo, Tug of War was another, because Honeycomb was like, oh, okay, this is pretty crazy. But like, and then Tug of War came, and I was like, no way. They show, like, well, I guess you could say the field.
Yeah.
I was like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Like, and that first team to just lose and just go falling down, I was like, no way. And which they showed before this, which is mind blowing. Like, they didn't even wait for the people to be fully dead. They would just put them in the box,
Yeah.
cremate them just like that.
Yeah. Remember,
Wild.
they even said it because one of the people came back to life while they were trying to take out the organs. He was trying to take
Yeah.
out the eyeball, and he said it was like a zombie
Yeah.
walking around.
Mm, that shit is like,
Yo, when the doctor's like, that zombie, who was that zombie? He thought he was his brother. He's like, no, it was a woman.
yeah, I know he thought it was his brother.
Yo,
That part was wild.
they
But
fucking desecrated her.
here's one thing I have
Right,
to
that's
say
right.
though about the hold on, I'm sorry, about Tug of War, right? That I caught on.
Mhm.
Because they gave them rules prior, and they were very particular about their rules. So I felt like if they didn't say it, or
It was allowed.
exactly, couldn't they have pushed another team while rotating in Tug of War?
Yeah.
Because you had to walk past them. Like, our team could have planned it. Yo, once we're all next to them, we each push the person we're next to, and we take out the strongest team right off the bat. Because they walked past the team with the guy that ran the with the tattoo.
Yeah.
They had to cross each other's paths on a little skinny bridge to swap.
Yeah, but if you really think about it, that probably would have started an all-out brawl.
Yeah, and the guards would have probably been like,
They
no,
had to intervene because
Yeah.
the games need to continue.
exactly.
People are watching it for the games, not to watch these people, not necessarily to watch these people kill each other,
Yeah,
but to watch the games.
yeah, exactly.
While they kill each other.
Yeah, while they kill each other. Yeah, and then we had our marble game. That one was crazy because they made them choose the game.
I find it even crazier the shit that they were doing The shit that was happening in between the games. I
Go
love
ahead.
the mind games everyone was playing with each other.
Yeah,
When
like the
she went,
taunting and the
yeah, when this guy, when the second time when it was about to be night time, they're all planning to go and attack their team for tug of war because they noticed they
mhm.
won, and then she's like, "Are you sure you can trust them? Because for all you know, they're waiting for you to go to sleep."
Yeah.
And that's when they're like, "We're gonna do this." He's like, "No, we're just gonna rest today. We're gonna
Yeah, we're
rest."
going to bed. That was smart. That was the best way for them to
Yep. Play the
combat
mind
him,
games. Yeah.
make him not trust anyone
Mm-hmm.
because it puts him in a corner.
Which is funny because
Literally.
he really couldn't. In the end, they
Yeah.
showed it
Yeah, and that's the one thing that
in
got me.
marbles. He showed
Yeah,
it in
right?
marbles, and he really couldn't trust anyone.
Right? And that's the one thing that got me throughout. Like everyone's teaming before the Marvels, everyone's teaming and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, but there's only one winner.
Yep.
Like there's no one
Yep.
realize that? There's only one winner. So it doesn't matter who you team up with throughout. It's one winner.
Though I will say, I did not expect. I expected the main character to survive.
Yeah.
But what I was expecting was it's going to be the two last people in that 6th game, and I thought they were going to opt out.
Yeah, because it'll be the majority rule.
Yeah, and then all the money goes to the families of the deceased.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to that, though, because I
Which
have
is funny
something to
because
say on
I
that.
thought it would have been great because then Ali's family would have got money.
Yeah, right? That's true. But just before they do the marble game, they start making them pick their duos.
Yeah.
That game, I think, was the most like
Depressing.
knife to the heart.
Yeah. It was hard.
Because they had everyone was hype. I'm going to pick who I'm closest to, this, that. And then next thing you know, I'm sitting there and the subtitles just say, you got to go against your partner. And I was like, I literally paused it. I got up and I was just like, fuck this show. I was just like, no, they didn't.
It's
Mind blowing.
At first, there were only two of them kind of broke my heart at first. That was Ali and Sang-woo.
I know.
And then the husband and the wife.
Bro, the husband and the wife. I
It
got
showed them look at each other,
goosebumps.
and I was like, no. No.
But what gets me is
No.
why the hell are you both there? Why didn't one of you just come to these
Because
games?
they were probably both invited separately. And then they saw each other and were like, bet, we're together.
I really hope they didn't have kids or nothing, because that's just like, that's wild.
Yeah, I would hope not too, considering the husband
Yeah,
killed
that's what I'm
himself.
saying. Why would you both go?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean, considering the husband killed himself.
yeah, that's true too. He
Like,
he couldn't live with that.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yo, and then
I'm sorry. Wait, to stick with the marbles, there were a few.
no, yeah, that's actually I was
okay.
gonna continue.
There were a few duos that were mind blowing. We had the husband and wife.
Sabayek, and this chick, the other chick. Yo, when
God,
they
that's
actually
true.
became friends during that whole thing.
And then she kept saying, "When we get out of here,
Yeah,
when we
she's
trying to
like,
make
"Oh, wait."
plans," and she's like, and what's crazy is when they finally decided to play their game, I knew she was gonna throw. I knew she was gonna throw. The first girl tosses her thing, and then she's standing there, and I'm like, she's throwing this game. The moment she stood there and paused, she's throwing this game. She's just gonna let go of it. I was like, I know it. And then she drops it, and I'm like, I knew it. I'm like, why?
And it was heartbreaking because that was the first time we seen her show emotion.
Yeah.
Any like emotion other than fear.
Yeah. And like it what's funny though, and I also think it was because the moment she saw it was you have to face your partner, it's as if the character accepted. All right, I guess I'm done.
I don't think so.
You don't
I
think
think at first she was like whatever, like she was just like, okay, I'm gonna try to win, but then that's why she thought of the idea. Let me get to know her. Does she have a reason to win? Because I don't.
Yeah, right.
And I
she
think
mentions
if
her
the other girl
brother
would, if the main chick would have never had a reason, she would have been like, whatever, let's just play the game. But the fact that she saw she had a reason to get her brother and her mom, and she was like, okay.
Yeah, because she legit said that I have nothing.
Mhm.
Like I came out of wherever I came out of, and I'm here.
And she was like, I was sitting there thinking of what I was gonna do when I got out, and I couldn't think of anything.
Yo, heartbreaking. And then we had, what's his name with the tattoo against his number two. Yo, I couldn't stand the guy he was up against.
We keep saying these people, that people. I definitely gotta learn how to say these names, especially if they're gonna come out with a season 2.
Yeah, right. What's his name with the tattoo?
I have all the names here. His name was Deoxu.
Yeah, him going
Well,
against.
then again, the only person we need to know their name is Gihon.
Yeah, because he's the only one
Everybody
that
else is fucking
survived, right? Yeah, that's
dead.
true. What his situation, like their situation, was interesting because they had their first game. His partner was winning. Then he approaches the guard and is like, "Isn't it supposed to be fair, 50-50? Now let's play my
I
game."
love that moment.
And I was like, "Wow,"
I love that moment.
because the guard was like, "Okay."
Yeah, because the other guy chose the game. He didn't get to choose, so it's like kind of unfair. It's unfair because he chose the game. He has the advantage.
Yeah. And then the other game was actually the best even game. You had the line. One thing that I noticed though, so they made their line and they made their hole, and they're going back and forth tossing.
Mm-hmm.
In that last throw, the guy actually smears his foot past the line, and I thought that was gonna be significant, but then it turns out I think they did it on purpose because now you're expecting, oh, he cheated or something, and then for him it's like almost like karma, immediate karma.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And he lost.
because then he ends up pushing the other guy's marble right into the hole, and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. One thing I do wish is maybe they could have introduced one, maybe two more important characters, like those main 5 or 6,
Yeah.
and killed them off earlier. Because after the third game, when I saw those main people survived, I'm like, these people are gonna survive to almost the end.
Yeah.
I kind of knew that was gonna happen. But if they would have introduced someone just as important as them, and then killed them off earlier, then I would have been like, okay, now I don't know who's gonna live and who's gonna die.
Like very Game of Thrones, like who's gonna,
because it was like,
where's this going?
I guess they tried doing that in the beginning in the first game with the 2 kids.
Yeah.
But we didn't know those kids.
Yeah.
They were kind of insignificant.
Yeah, especially to the whole story.
I thought one of those was gonna be the detectives' brothers at first. Actually.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, and then when and then I started really thinking about it, and I was like,
Like, something
mask
fishy here. But yeah, marbles, and then what other duo was pretty crazy? Oh, Ali, man. Ali.
He tricked him.
And he looks at the guard and he said, "You said we can play any game. I played mine."
Mm-hmm.
It was like, bro. But then it almost contradicts what the other team, when he approached the guard and was like, "I want to change the game." Couldn't Ali have done that?
Ali didn't know what he was doing.
But that's the thing, too. I remember they said something that each team needs to have a clear winner. Ali didn't know the game. Yeah. How fair is that?
But there was a clear winner. Sang-woo still clearly won.
Yeah, that part, he knew, too. He's calling his name. He's sitting there. He's like, yo, that actor. Oh, man. It's like all these actors and actresses were just, like, phenomenal. Awesome. Like full-blown tears in that moment. And he knew, like, this is it. Like, I'm dead. And speaking of, this whole back and forth, now to the main people.
I think that's what broke him, doing that to Ali.
Yeah.
Because don't you notice, he was kind of slowly making his way, kind of being a dick and like working his way through. But then the moment that happened, he full on accepted it.
Yeah, full-blown villain and was like, I need to get out of here. Like, and me.
I noticed it from the beginning that he was like that. It was just like he was so selfish from the beginning, and then this Gi-hun's trying to make it seem like he's this great person.
Talking him up
you're
all the
watching
time.
him play, and he's so selfish. The whole time.
Yo, that's so true. And then what was it? What's his name again? Can you repeat his name? The main character?
Gi-hun.
Gi-hun. I keep forgetting. Gi-hun.
No G in the end.
Gi-hun.
Gi-hun. Yeah.
Gi-hun is with the old guy. It's more It's more mind blowing when you get to the end, but in the moment, of that episode, you're like, "Holy crap! He's really taking advantage of him being old, and him having dementia and not remembering."
The old man didn't plan that.
You think that really happened?
Like him playing marbles, because remember, one was left out. It was supposed to be him. but instead it was that other chick, the crazy one, the crazy chick.
It was supposed to be
It was an odd one out.
him.
He would have been the odd one out.
Because nobody would
I
have
think
wanted
that.
to pick an old man, and
I
I
think
think
that's
that's
why
why
he
he let
walked
him
away.
win.
I think that's why he walked away. Like at first, remember he's like, "Oh, go find someone else. You don't need to partner with me," because he realized there's an odd number. Someone's not gonna play. I can just get out of it.
Yeah. Then how
And
the
he
hell
stood in
would
the
he have
corner.
gotten himself out of the damn bridge game? I don't know.
He got killed
True. Yeah, because
because
it's
at
like,
that they left her. They left her in because she wasn't the old man
yeah,
and she was the weakest link. But I feel like for the old
the
man,
weakest link.
they would
The
have
old
killed
man
him.
would have been the weakest
Yep,
link.
and then they would have killed him. They would have came back. He wouldn't have been in the room.
Yeah, so he pretty much, so I'm sorry, so what's his name again?
Gihon.
Gihun. Gihun actually kind of messed up his plan a bit by choosing
If
him.
that was his plan, this is all
Yeah,
speculation.
yeah, but if that was his plan, then he
Yeah.
kind of ruined it. Um, yeah,
Because I think
that
at that point he kind of. Then again, you couldn't argue he probably wanted to do it because then he was talking about was he pretending to have dementia?
you know what's funny? You saying all that just now, you literally took the question out of my head just now, because you said that and it made me think, wow, I wonder if he did all that on purpose so he can win. So he can lose. So
he can get this guy Pat through. Bro, it was so heartbreaking watching him play the old man.
yo, I know, because he
And then
knew what he was doing. Like, he's sitting there. He's like, what I'm doing is wrong. It's
And
clearly
he
wrong.
didn't want to do it.
But letting him win, like in a very fucked up way to say it, it's like, you know, he's not gonna make it. You know, the old man is not gonna end up making it to the end, especially if in the end it's a 1v1, and being that the game that what it was, the old man would have lost probably against anyone else there.
Yep.
So it was like he was in that really bad spot, which obviously, honestly, if you're just a good person at heart, you still wouldn't have done it. But
The old man, I think the old man did it to kind of humble him.
right, he did it on purpose.
Because think about the question he asked in the end. Do you still think you can trust people? That's why he did that whole, what did you say? And he's just like, oh, I said even. It's like, it goes to show, like, him thinking you can't trust people.
Oh man, yeah, that was. I mean, it helped them give him his death a little
And then also,
easier.
it also makes sense because it kind of opened his eyes to his brother. Can you really trust people? You just betrayed this old man. So it's like, that's when, because after that game is when he started to see his brother. He's like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Why are
yeah.
you
So he started to
acting
look
this
at his friend. He started to look
His
at
friend,
his
I
friend.
keep forgetting. Friend.
Yeah,
Keeps
started to
saying
look at
brother.
his friend, and his friend is like he's like, you up to something?
You see, damn, that kind of disappoints me.
Because
It
it
would have
had a
been-
bigger impact on you because you thought they were
I thought it was
siblings.
his brother.
Mm-hmm. No, they were just childhood friends.
That
Because
shit,
remember,
like,
his mom, they had two, they're two
different moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought they were like half brothers. I thought they had the same dad.
That's funny. They didn't even mention their father.
They didn't at all.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of assumed it, and the way how he was going back and forth with the two
Yeah.
moms.
Yeah, I think he was just a really close childhood friend that, like, after, like, let's say college years, just
Yeah.
drifted apart. But yeah, then after
Yeah,
that,
but he also said, I was the reason you went to uni anyways. I walked you to school, this and that. That's another reason why I thought he was his
because
brother.
I'm pretty sure one of them is older
Okay.
than the other. But and then by this time, right after the marble is when we actually see the VIPs that they want to start talking about, and they all got their, like, fashion model masks on. And I really want to know who the VIPs were, because the VIPs showed up for the 5th game for the bridge.
Yeah.
Like, they must have been people of power, like world leaders or something.
That's what I thought. And then the detective had no reaction to seeing this guy.
Yeah, so maybe they are people of power, but not world leaders.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just people in power in regards to just, like, money and influence.
I took it as they were winners of the Squid Game.
Hmm.
Because remember, in the end, he went to the bank. They're like, "Oh, we noticed that you haven't used your money. If you want, you can upgrade to the VIP status."
That's so true. And they were treating him like
Like he was like,
royalty.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like he was on a pedestal. Makes sense. I think those were the winners. And then really think about it. For most people going through something like that, it's gonna break you mentally.
Yeah.
It did broke him almost, and then he came back.
And then when they even get into first of all, the whole setup where the VIPs were at was wild. Half of the stuff they were sitting, leaning,
For
touching
people,
were people. Literally, they
yeah,
were using people as
yeah.
tables,
Mm-hmm.
people as chairs. There's the old guy that wanted to sleep with the cop. Literally had some chick behind him, and he was using her breasts as pillows. And even after he left, the chick stood there,
Yeah.
just like
Mm-hmm.
no movement. Like like those people needed to play red light, green light. They could stay still. Like that was
Yeah.
that was bananas.
That makes sense though that they weren't brothers because I thought they were brothers and then I questioned why she had a picture with only Sangwoo. Like, what about Gion?
Right,
But then
right.
again, at the same time, it would have made sense if they were half brothers. That's technically not her son.
Yeah, that's true too.
And that's why I was like, okay, so they're
Hmm.
probably half brothers, and it turns out they're just friends. Well,
So
they might as well be brothers.
in that part, when we see the VIPs, they're in that little room. He doesn't make him take off the mask until they get into the private
No, yeah,
room.
because he wants
That's
him to
right.
take off the mask. He was like, let's go somewhere private. Those people are allowed to talk?
Unless spoken to. Remember, your superior
Yes.
needs to speak to you. And then when he made the comment of not taking off the mask because they'll kill him, he looked at him. He's like, "I'll kill you, because I run this.
Yeah.
Like, my money is what
Yeah.
makes this place keep going. So, I'm the boss. I'm." I almost went back to what I was just about to say. I was going to say, how didn't the guy in the black mask not recognize that? I assume he should know what everyone there would look like because he runs things.
Mhm.
But he took off his mask in a private
Yeah,
room.
in a private room.
I thought that was actually going to go down because the show has been so wild that I was sitting there like, wow, this guy
Right?
is going
I was
far.
I was expecting him to be like, "Can we go to another room?" And then the main guy with the black mask going, "No."
No. Yeah. That didn't.
But he also said that it was a rule that if they're not supposed to see each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest thing. So that's probably why he accepted him going into a room.
Yeah.
Because it's like all the other people, you're not supposed to be known. No one is supposed to know
Yeah.
your identity. No one.
And a perfect a way that they really like showed the craziness to these people was they had all these people as tables, chairs, pillows, and then he sees him. He's just like, "You must be really handsome. I want to sleep with you."
Yeah.
And then when he asks, he's like, "Anyone, have objections?" Everyone's just like, "Yeah, go ahead, take them." Notice how they completely viewed people as objects.
Mm-hmm.
The people playing the game,
Yeah.
the people serving them, everyone that wasn't them
Mm-hmm.
was just an object.
Yep. It
Like,
was just
mind blowing how you can even think that
yeah.
way. Like, and being so entertained watching that, like that's like watching the Hunger Games in real life, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh wow, oh he died, like, like it's fucking
One thing
psychotic.
I wonder, since we're on the Glass Bridge game,
Mm-hmm.
was I wonder if they purposely used the knights, chess knights,
Why? Why
for
do you
the
say
game.
that?
Because if you really think about it, that would make everybody else who died before the pawns.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
Just
true,
like-
and it was before the VIPs got there.
These are the
That's
knights.
true. Another thing, oh well, this is later, but yeah, during the bridge game, how many they had? Like 8 people left by then? No, 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say
There was 16 people. Wow, I literally said half. That part is scary, because you're at game 5. You already know these games are insane. You don't know what to expect at any point, and then you see those numbers 1 through 16, and you're like, shit, what do I choose?
But then they told them after the middle numbers were chosen.
Mm-hmm.
They told them.
But that creates an even with the exact debate that he had. Being first or last can be a very good thing or a terrible
Yep.
thing. And he almost picked number 1.
Yep.
Yo. And then when he picked when they finally tell them the game, one's tempered glass, one's actual
Yeah.
glass. The guy that picked number one looked back at him like, oh no. It's like, hey,
But then again, you didn't expect to make it out.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And
he even said it.
he even said, I wanna make this decision. It's like, you made it, bro. It sucks, but he made it, especially in that scenario. But
I was also half expecting them like, okay, this is the order you guys are gonna go in. All right, but the order is backwards, starting from 16.
that would have been crazy. That would have been crazy, right? See, here's one part that gets me during that game. So you have everybody, trying to figure out, they're jumping across, people, falling as they're trying to figure it out. The guy that used to be a glass manufacturer, they clearly had that information. How wasn't that an advantage to the game?
I mean, not. It was an advantage. That's why he turned off the lights.
But that's what I'm saying. Then why allow him in the games? You get what I mean? Like, to begin with, if off the jump he had an advantage.
From what it seems like, the games aren't planned out, and every time this is done, it's different games. Because remember, even if it was the same game every time, it's kind of seemed like they brought the same people to work as the circles, squares, and triangles, and that means they would have known what the next games were going to be.
Yeah.
But the fact that they didn't even know until the last minute kind of...
I think they didn't know because the guy with the mask knew about the whole organ thing. And he was like, all right, I'm not telling any of you now.
Because they were cheating?
Because he probably didn't know who of the red outfits he can trust.
Yeah. That would make sense too.
But yeah, they get through that.
Why are you going to hinder this guy and say it's unfair because he decided to choose that profession?
Yeah, right?
Anybody could have became a glassmaker. They just chose not to.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that was a crazy advantage. And
his reasoning behind... Both their reasoning behind what they did, the glassmaker guy and Sang-woo, I was just like, really?
Fucked up.
Like, this guy's like, I didn't help anyone because, the way they were treating me. It's like, oh, so
like, bro, you could have been in the front.
Yep.
Like, first of all, he shouldn't have made it so hot because they caught on. They were like, oh, he clearly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but how else was he supposed to? He had to get on the floor. He had to examine it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there was no other way for him to do it. Except when he turns the light, he had to do the sound. And then Sung-woo is like, oh, I'm going to push you because, you're an asshole. I didn't tell anybody. Like, that doesn't make you any better.
That was just his excuse, bro.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like, that doesn't make you any better than him.
Yeah, for real. It shocked both of them, the chick and him. They were both like, what the hell? Like, he did not just do that.
Yo, when the glasses broke and this chick got stabbed.
Yeah, you know what's funny, though? I knew it. Like, the moment they showed the glass flying and, like, it showed them walking away, I'm looking at Beth and I'm like, something's off.
Yeah.
They didn't just show that just to show that.
Yeah.
One of them is hurt.
They did that shit on purpose. Because you already know most of the people were rooting for her to win.
Yeah, you know what's funny? At that point, I was just like, she should win. Yeah. Because, like,
out of all of them, she's the only one that has, like, other than Ali, she was the only one that had, like, a reason to kind of risk her life to do all of that.
Yeah, and wasn't playing people everybody along else the way.
And no, but like even then, like everybody else, think about why they're there, really for like selfish reasons.
Yeah, because their own actual mistakes.
And like them two, they're trying to help their family.
Yeah, they weren't even there for themselves.
Yeah, like literally, like I bet you, if they would have told them, "Hey, die right now, we'll take care of your family," they would have been like, "Bet."
Yeah, that's true. And then by this whole process, we have the cop on his full blown like trying to escape, getting caught. Finding all those documents from years at the Squid Game. What was it? One of them said 1996 or something like that.
I think I saw one say too.
Bananas, like going on for decades.
That's what it's like. At first, I saw 1993. I'm like, oh, this takes place in the 90s. And then I saw the
2020.
The years going up. I'm like, oh,
like, holy crap! Like, this is insane. Going on for years, all those documents. And it's funny though, because which is understandable because they knew everything about everyone, and but at the same time, it's like, how do you have all that evidence just sitting there Who's to say the Coast Guard from some random military don't pull up on that island by mistake and
Well,
then
where are they gonna find it? What are they gonna find? Remember, they had everything underground, everything in the mountain,
that's true.
everything
That's
was
true.
hidden.
It's
You
just
literally pass by it, it looks just like a plain island.
yeah. Right, and I'm pretty sure if people ever crash landed, they probably just killed them.
Yeah,
And
they,
acted like
they
they
fucking
were
cremate
gone.
them. They saw the
Mhm.
guy's body in the ocean from when the detective first threw the guy off the boat. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
cremate him."
Yeah, that was it. They thought he was the cop.
No, they didn't.
You
They
know,
didn't.
because
They knew
he
'cause
knew.
there was
He
an
saw the
intruder.
ID.
He was like, "This is him."
No, he knew that wasn't his brother though, because when they saw the body there, picks up the ID and sees it's a damn ID of his brother.
Yeah, but then also you have to remember he can just pick up the guy's head and look at it and like, oh, it's not the same person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In
But
that
it's like- but
in
that's-
that moment, I just realized that in
That's why
hindsight,
he went so hard on fighting this intruder, because if someone else would have found him,
they would have killed
they would
him.
have killed him. So he was like, at least let me get a chance to save my brother.
Whew, and that happened before. This happens before the last game.
Yes.
So in this part, they finally catch
Because
up to
remember,
him.
after the glass thing, he went up to go do the. No, it happened before because the VIPs didn't arrive yet.
No, they did.
They did?
They did. Yeah, they had arrived. That was when his brother went to the private room.
So who did he call?
Ball
on the
grabbed the guy.
Who did no?
Remember, he grabbed the he hurt the VIP,
Yeah.
grabs him by his balls, and was like,
then he
"Tell me
chased him,
everything."
yeah. But I'm saying when he found the ID.
That was before that. Yes.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was
That's
before that.
what I was talking about.
Mhm,
Wait,
yeah.
yeah. So because it was before that, because I remember he went upstairs to go to pick up the phone. Remember and call. And that's when
Mhm.
he saw the receiver was in the
Yeah.
opposite way.
That was a crazy catch. I was like,
It's because
the
I think he
detail.
did it purposely.
yeah, to ever know if somebody was in
Mhm.
his room.
Did it the same way every time.
That shit is crazy. And then when he finally reveals himself to him,
Yo.
catches up to him, and like, I'm sitting there like, no way. Even he's sitting there like, this gotta be fake.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking because he knew his brother wasn't gonna kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, you may have that last bullet, but you're not gonna kill me. You came here for me.
Yeah.
You're not gonna kill me.
Yeah, for real.
He did it.
Mind blowing. And one thing I
was
did
hoping the
notice
cops
though
could survive.
is he did send out all those videos. They did get out because when you look at his phone as it's going, he's sending more, and
Yeah,
it says that
but
they're
then
being sent.
right before he got caught, it shows him look at the phone and it said 2 didn't send, and
Two
he had
of
to
them,
resend
yeah.
it. That was the 2 main ones. Then there were 2 videos where he was recording the guy.
I didn't catch that. The thing is though, I don't know with the how like the show was so like holy shit, you never know. Do you think he died?
It's weird.
You know, because he did get shot over here, and they can play it as if he got shot in the shoulder.
My biggest problem, I think he didn't, and I think
I didn't think he did either.
and
Uh huh.
I think the brother knows.
Yes, me too.
Because if it was anybody else, he would have looked at them. He would have been like, "Go get the body."
Cremated. Exactly.
Never did. He let it just.
And it's like there are obviously people above him, so it's like he can't let the people behind him realize that he's getting soft and he's gonna let this guy survive. So I'm gonna
And
kill
another
him.
thing too is the bullet looked kind of off. First of all, it looked little like not exactly where you would hit the heart, but then again,
No, it did. That's what I'm saying. It looked like he hit the shoulder.
Yeah, and then at the same time, if he wanted to kill him,
He would
the
have shot him
fucking
more than once.
Bam, bam,
Yeah,
bam,
yeah, yeah.
bam. Okay,
Uh-huh, just
gotta
mag
confirm your kill.
dumped, and then that's
Because
it.
think
Yeah.
about it, all the other people when they didn't kill the person, they just shoot him in the head.
Mm-hmm. Or shot him multiple times if
Yeah.
they didn't, like to ensure that the person.
Like most
Just
of the
actually
kill
dead.
shots were all to the head.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Apparently, this guy has like ideas for season 2. So, but then we get our last game, which is the infamous Squid Game. Which before that, rewind, the chick had the glass in her stomach.
Yes. And the brother
Ah,
fucking killed. And the brother
man.
Sang-woo killed her. I'm gonna keep saying brother.
Yeah, yeah. Sung-woo killed him, and I was like and I was like, no, he didn't. He did not just do that. And then he
Yo, he's
says,
fast
but-
and silent.
but then he says exactly what you said. Them two were the majority, and they could have ended the game.
Yep.
Think about it. If
But my
in that moment they both would have said, "Let's end this game," I'm like 85% sure they would have patched her up and then sent them away.
Yeah, they would have 100% would have patched her up a certain way. But my thing is, would she have said yes?
I don't think she would have because she made that agreement with him.
Yeah.
Or if she knew she was just like, you know what? I see you are a good person at heart. You know, it's like just help my family. You'll have so much money. You could probably help
That's what I'm
everybody's
saying.
family
I don't
that
think
that
she
was
would
here.
agree to end it because she was doing that for her brother. She
Mm-hmm.
came back
For her
knowing
brother.
she can die. So I think that definitely think she would like even if he would have mentioned the idea, she would have said no. I'm not ending it. I'm gonna finish this.
Yeah. And that last game, man, that
How would
fight
it
was
have worked with
brutal.
3 players? You think they knew, or like they were gonna do something to get one of them to kill? Because it makes sense that they wanted one of them
They
to
did.
die.
They left them the knives after the
But
dinner.
for all you know, Gi-hun could have tried something like which I thought would have been the smart thing to at least try. Grab your knife, go to those candles, heat up your knife, and try and close that wound yourself. At least try something like that.
Yeah, right.
To keep
Like,
her
'cause
alive.
you're at
Like
some
at
point.
least if not, she was gonna die and bleed out anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like at least try and save her. Not bang on the door. Like I don't know what you expected. You really thought they were gonna come in and patch her
Yeah,
up? No,
for
they
real.
weren't
They've
gonna
been
do that.
watching you guys all kill each other
Yeah.
and die.
So and it's like at that point, if he would have done that, Sangwoo would have never thought of stepping up to them, try and kill them. So it's like, what were they gonna do if something like that would have happened and all 3 of them would have made it? How would have the game worked with 3 players?
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was their intention. So either they knew
I think
she would,
probably
they
had a
knew
plan.
she won't last the night. They probably saw it, saw she's still walking and and operating. So they're like, okay, but they probably knew she's not gonna make it anyway.
They saw she didn't eat. They
Mm-hmm.
saw how tired she was.
Yeah, probably she'll be gone. She'll have passed away
You
by
think
the
she
morning.
would have died anyways if Sangwoo wouldn't have killed her?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The moment she took the glass out of her stomach, she was dead.
Yeah, because they had nothing to close to
Mhm.
hold that wound. She was losing a lot of blood.
For that entire time, whole dinner,
Yeah.
everything. She was dead the moment she took that out. Um, which I don't see how they didn't see it or know like that. There was a big ass piece of glass just coming out of her stomach.
You have to remember, she cleaned herself up a bit. It would have took a bit of a while for the blood to get everywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. Walking from the game of the bridge
Oh yeah,
to
so
the
the little
room.
drops on the floor.
Yeah.
But then again, are you gonna be sitting there walking like this? No, you're gonna be seeing that like this during that game.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? Anything can happen. This guy right behind me could just stab me. So I'm just gonna
Yeah, right.
look everywhere.
They try to give him a nice little. What I find funny is the sheer respect that they would like the way they spoke. They spoke with so much respect to the players.
Yeah.
Like they like in a way praised them. Like you guys should be honored. Like you guys are like
Yeah.
like you guys are gonna go down in the history books.
That would
like,
make sense if they became VIPs. The winner becomes a VIP. You would want to treat them with respect because you don't know if they're gonna become the winner.
right, and then they're killing your ass later on, going down the line.
Bro, it's so weird how it's like you're doing these games to kill people. Yeah, you're kind of nice and respectful. Like,
right?
what the?
Like this don't even make
I
sense.
gotta pee. You can only pee during certain times, but nature calls when it calls. Fine. Like,
Right?
huh?
And that last game, man.
Then again, she did threaten to pee on the floor.
Yeah, she
You're
was
like,
literally
"Fuck, I
gonna
gotta clean that."
pop a squat, right? Fuck, I gotta clean that. No, he don't, because after that whole slaughter, they left all the
Dead
blood.
ass,
They
they
left
did,
everything
yeah.
there. I don't have
Makes me
to.
wonder why.
I mean,
I guess kind of unhealthy. She wouldn't have been able to clean herself.
I don't know. I don't know. One thing I bring up, the games are actually on the walls.
They are, yeah. They were. I noticed that in the end when they cleared out all of the beds, the games were on the wall.
I'm surprised no one there caught that,
All
because there
the-
were some smart people
The
there.
beds were in the way. You have to remember everything was
Yeah,
covering. They were
that's
all
true.
along the walls, blocking it.
That's true. And then that last game, man, that was brutal. That was brutal. And then in the end, for him to use the majority rule.
Yep. And like, let's end it now.
I was like, no, he's not. He did not just do that. And then and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting their names again.
Sang Woo and Gihun.
Yeah, and then Sang Woo was just like, hell no, I did not go all this way for nobody to win, and he just takes his own life. I mean, at the same time, it's like he knew you're gonna take care of my mom.
And on top of that, probably also the regret of everything he did during that game.
Yeah, he realized like, yo,
I don't
what did
deserve
I
to get out
turn
of here.
to? Yeah, it's like, what did I turn
at that
into?
moment, he's like, I'm gonna lose. I lost. I'm gonna die. And then he comes up and goes, let's do the majority rule. He probably looked at himself at that moment and was like, I don't even deserve to get out of here.
Yeah. And then having done all that for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the money would have all went to the people. Yeah, he legit killed people.
Like, not like all the other people where they killed people like because of the game. No, he legit killed people. He pushed that guy.
Yeah.
And the same thing he did with Ali.
He was just like, fuck it, go.
He knew something like that was gonna happen. It's why he chose Ali and not Gihan.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely knew like they're gonna put us against each other.
Mind blowing, bro.
Because you think about it, he was in the beginning. He was kind of hesitant to make the team in the first place.
Yeah.
He probably knew something like that eventually was gonna happen. We're gonna make teams and gonna force us against each other. I wonder if they expected them to make teams.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, being that that was happening for decades.
Yeah, you think
it's definitely happened.
Okay.
Definitely happened, and it's probably why they started doing those games.
Yeah, probably.
They probably had people teaming at first, which they probably wouldn't have expected, and they were like, "Damn, for next season, how do we combat that?"
Not even combat it, but it's how do we make it more intense?
Yeah.
Oh, let's put the partners against each other.
Mm-hmm. Let's make them pick partners instead of letting them doing it on their own, and then it's
because it's obvious. Like if you give them the choice to pick the partners, you're gonna pick the person you're closest to.
Mm-hmm. Someone you think we're gonna win together.
Yeah.
Like, that's true. And in the end, it's what's crazy is, aside from the games, aside from everything, the beginning and the end, like, just felt like they were like connected to each other. Because in the beginning, after that first game, everybody was like, we're out of this shit. To go back to the real world and be like, damn,
they were right. This is no better.
Yo, and they all go back. That was the first, like, yo, they're going back.
Well, not all of them, because they all went back.
I'm glad that I just brought that up. They never mentioned what happened to the other like 6 or 7.
Yes, no, they said that 75 people never came back, and that's why he was like, keep an eye on those 75 people.
No, it wasn't 75. It was a small number, like 7. It was like, I think it was like there was 190 something people that went back that left the game initially, and then 180 something. It was something like that. It was only like 10 to like 12 people that didn't show up.
I have to do the math because there was a reason, because there was 456 people, and then in the end there was a perfect number. In the end, I think it was 255 that was left over. And then I believe only 180 something came back. 187 or some shit like that.
Nah, I remember
a decent
it
number
being
of
like,
people.
I could have swore it was like less than 20 people. And then all I remember was him saying keep an eye on them, and then that was it. I don't remember him saying,
no, they didn't say anything.
like, keep an eye on them for what? Like, the rules stated that if you didn't want to participate, but the majority did, you would be eliminated.
Yeah.
So unless off screen they just eliminated those people in, real world, and they're just like unsolved murders.
Yeah.
Like,
they're just missing. Even remember he said he's been investigating his brother's disappearance ever since it happened.
imagine his brother didn't want to participate anymore, so instead they told him, since you don't want to be a player, we're gonna make you work for us.
No, he won.
His brother was a former winner.
They said it. Remember, he was looking through all the participants, couldn't find him, and there was a box.
That's right.
And he opened the box, it said winners, and when he looked through, his brother's name was in there. That's why I think the VIPs were winners, because he won and he became that guy, the front man.
Yeah. But yeah, and in the end, for him to win all that money and not even use it. What gets me is he didn't even help anybody, though. Like, the people say he was gonna help.
Yeah, he did. He helped. He only promised to help her.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He didn't, because the the older guy told him, your money is all still sitting there. You haven't touched it.
Remember afterward, he cleaned himself up.
No, but I'm
changed
saying
his
like just
hair.
before that.
Yeah, he didn't keep his promise
He
for
went
a
what, a
year.
year? Yeah, a year. But think about that, because it's like, look at it's like, to you that's blood money. There's literally blood money sitting in that account. It's like, how are you in good conscience gonna use that?
Yeah.
Aside from just giving it all away and not using it for yourself.
14 players didn't return.
14.
Yeah.
And they didn't say what happened to them. Just that, oh, let's keep an eye on them, and then that was it.
Yeah, just keep an eye. That's all he said.
I don't know.
Maybe there was 201. There was 201 remaining people because 255 died in the first game.
Mm-hmm. That's insane. And then he finally cleans himself up. The old guy still wanted to play a game. We can sound like what is it called, Jigsaw?
Yeah.
But
again, in the end, it was just to like open his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And
bro, but honestly, he made it sound a little psycho-ish.
And then the old man was proven wrong.
Yeah.
Someone came back to help.
Mm-hmm. And what gets me too is like his reasoning behind it. Like, yo, us rich people get bored. That was pretty much what the whole reason. Us rich people get bored. Like, bro, what? Then build yourself, the most intense AI and just play virtual reality, or be
just,
like Elon Musk and try to go to Mars, or
just
like
do these games and not have people die.
Like, be Batman. Do something with all that money. Like, why would you do this? Like, it's mind blowing, but it was a pretty good show. I wouldn't argue that it's Netflix's best show.
It's definitely one of the best.
Definitely a really good show. Yeah,
I would definitely say it's one of the best.
It's definitely better than the next show we watched. What If?
Oh yeah,
season finale.
Yeah. I saw this comment online, which it kind of makes sense. And the guy was like, how the reason why many people talk about how great the show is and say it's one of Netflix's best show is because most of those people probably don't watch anime. A lot of the shit they showed in Squid Game, you see a lot in anime.
Yeah, the betrayal and the intensity and like the
betrayal, intensity,
the sheer savage.
Like the sheer savageness. Like if you're watching the right animes, you see all of that.
You know what's funny though? You can even argue that's like not in most, but that's in a lot of like R-rated comics too. Like they're intense. It's like the only issue is that everything we watch on that's superhero and like aside from anime is all PG-13.
Yeah.
So then you get anime and you're like, oh man, this is for adults.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
Exactly.
Like so.
It was basically a live action anime.
Which I can see in the way people spoke, the bubbliness to some people. It was very live action anime like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why did he do the red hair in the end? I thought that was pretty different.
It's an anime.
Yeah, right. But the end. Oh my god!
The only thing I can see was kind of goes to show change and openness, and also it was red, blood. I guess
red. The outfits.
Yeah,
the people.
The outfits. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it was just a
like a symbolism.
Just show change. Yeah, it was just a symbol. Like everything's changing, and it's funny. Maybe it was also to show that he's out for blood. He's going back. And he was like,
yeah, man. When he saw finally he sees that other guy getting slapped in the train station, and he looks at him like, "Don't ever take this card." He takes the card, and then when I saw him, the moment he stopped walking on the plane, I was like, "No, he's not. No, he's not." And what gets me is the card wasn't intended for him.
Nope.
So he says his name, then homeboy in black mask picks up, and like, oh man.
That was the guy with the black mask?
Yeah, he calls him by name too. Like he calls
player 456. Get on that plane.
Yep.
That's what he said to him.
Yeah, get on. Like, bro, how do you know? Like, are you watching former players at all times?
He said he said it. With the 14 people, watch them.
Insane. Get on that plane. It's for your own good.
Yep.
Like, bro. See, I told you, he's finally one of the rich people that's gonna just become Batman.
Yep. Honestly, I feel like the ending was the best part of this entire Like, it's very rare you see a show end that
Yeah.
fucking good. That was just like, oh, it makes me like I cannot wait
Yeah,
for
like
that
to see
next
what they're gonna
season.
do. Like he went from this. That's another thing too. He went from this
Coward
coward who,
didn't have any sense of responsibility.
yeah, as an adult or as a father or like, and then he has pretty much
Yep.
this experience that,
Selfish.
yeah, and
And I
now
love it
he's.
because it ended with him. He was gonna go see his daughter,
He was gonna
and he
go to the
stopped.
states.
And
It
I
was
was
like
like,
some last Airbender moment
yeah,
where it's just like it's not about you.
yeah,
It's about the world.
yep.
And he's just like, all right.
My thing is he gonna try and get the mother from North Korea?
Yeah, who knows?
Because
Yeah,
she's stuck there.
who knows if he already did that?
They
You know,
didn't
with
show.
the
No,
amount,
they
with the.
didn't because he brought the kid to Sangwoo's mom.
That's right. I mean, I imagine that's like really difficult to do.
No, yeah, of
Like
course. Remember, she
North
said
Korea, like.
even this chick said she's gotten played trying to do it. Then she gave the people 40 million won and they ran.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it's like who's gonna take that chance to
Yeah.
like smuggle someone out of North
Fucking
Korea? Like
imagine.
that's scary.
Trying to smuggle a person out of a place.
That will like literally kill you on the spot if they
Yeah.
catch you. It's terrifying. Yeah, hopefully season 2, nice and intense. Let's see. But then we get our season finale of What If.
Yes, that.
That. Introducing the Guardians of the Multiverse.
And Gamora.
And Gamora.
The survivor of Sakaar.
That's what they called her?
That's what the Watcher called her.
Survivor of Sakaar. Wow, Survivor of Sakaar. I just processed
Yeah.
that. But then, yeah, so this little group we got here, I want to talk about this group. We get Captain Carter, which she was in the middle of the Winter Soldier movie.
Curious.
Like how that would have gone,
Yeah.
right?
They found this guy's armor. I told you, remember? I was like, yo, what if he becomes the Winter Soldier? There's somebody inside of it.
But she got like hype, like like eyes big, like ooh my boo's
Of course
here.
she is gonna get hype.
Yeah, right. Then we had T'Challa, Star-Lord T'Challa specifically,
Yes.
doing what was happening Guardians 2, right? Well, what movie was that with the slime taking over the planet? It was like that what was it? One of the Marvel shows. Was it in Agents of Shield? The scene that they showed where T'Challa there was like that. Yeah, it was Guardians 2 because it was Ego. Yeah. So he was happening when the Watcher took T'Challa Star-Lord, he took him during Guardians 2.
Yeah, because I remember because he was trying to save Quill.
Yeah, there you go. He's trying to save Quill, yeah.
And then he grabbed him from there.
And then obviously Gamora with Tony, that's something we've never seen in the MCU. So we were
I
like,
was so disappointed.
Which would have been answered if we would have gotten that Gamora episode, but
Yeah.
we're not going to get that till season 2. So,
Fortunately, we don't even know when that's gonna come out.
yeah. Because that left a huge, like,
Okay,
what's
like,
happening?
She's working with Tony.
Yeah,
She's
Tony
the survivor of Sakaar. She has a machine to destroy the Infinity Stones.
He's wearing Thanos' armor?
Like, come
Tony
on.
got, like, what looks like Godbuster
Yeah,
armor on?
like,
Like, what's
what's-
happening? Yeah, and then we get Thor, I guess, in Vegas trying to party.
And then Killmonger for some reason.
That was my reaction until I realized something. So let's go to the episode and I'll tell
Okay.
you what I realized. So the Watcher obviously picks his people, which him fighting Ultron, I thought he was going to be in the fight too, but he wasn't. He grabbed all of them, threw them at a bar, and then had them fight. The leader being Doctor Strange, which he had already. Doctor Strange carried that team.
Yo, super hard.
His capability was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they pulled an Endgame. An Infinity War with him again. Let's
do you
just
mean?
have him do little things here and there. Even though he probably gonna take on that guy by himself.
Yo, that was my thought. He threw protection spells on everybody. He was literally
He was playing
holding
the
it
support.
down.
He was just playing
Yeah.
the support the whole time. I would have loved to. Like, we only got one moment where he went on the offense. I would have
And he
loved
had
to
his
have.
whole body changed.
Yeah,
He had all
like-
different demons coming out of him.
I feel like out of all the things he got, he could have done a bit more,
Yeah, I agree.
but didn't.
I agree. He
But you
definitely
know,
could have done more.
like, pull the Doctor Strange, but there's just one chance they have to win.
What gets me too is every time I watch this episode, I don't know if anyone else thinks about this as they're watching these episodes, but this is tied and canon to the MCU.
Yeah.
It's part of the multiverse. So of all the people he had to choose from to literally defend the multiverse, this is the team he picked.
Yeah.
Like,
You're telling me
it doesn't
there's not
even
a
make
universe
sense.
out there where there was a good Thanos. Why didn't he grab Thanos?
Not even, yeah, you could have grabbed a Thanos with the full gauntlet. That's
like
something
that's good.
Yeah, like,
That peacefully
because-
took over the universe.
and I'm glad that you said that. That's good and peacefully took over the universe, because according to the writer,
that is possible.
yep,
Yeah.
that would be possible. So it's like,
Why didn't you grab that Thanos?
why didn't you grab 16 Doctor Stranges and have all of them face Ultron? Like,
Like, I don't know.
you could have had some stronger teams.
Yeah.
Captain Carter, Black
You're
Widow,
telling me there's not a version of
Killmonger.
Ultron that was good?
Right? It's supposed to be infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
I don't know. And to answer, so honestly, we're like really thinking about it. Most of the episode was just them literally fighting him and trying to figure out, just showing us visuals of the fight,
Yeah.
and then hinting at this Infinity Crusher, which obviously we won't know anything about
So
until
the episode.
we see that episode. But that was like a first. Well, the moment I saw that, I was like, oh wow, something that can defeat the stones. Cool. Still haven't explained how the stones are working in a different universe.
Yeah, and then all
Great.
of a sudden, they're using the stones in a different universe, but the Crusher cannot destroy stones from other universes.
Here's the icing on the cake, though. People can argue, oh, he was able to use the stones because he's AI, and everything that he built, he transcended, which the Watcher said transcended into this, like, into a cosmic, a higher state of being,
he
right?
transcended, not the stones.
But that's not even it. When they were fighting and he used the time stone, Doctor Strange used his
time
own
stone.
time stone.
To like counteract it, yeah.
So where were they? Where was this fight happening? That stones from all these different universes are being used. And then here's another
No,
moment,
it was happening in like the void area, wasn't it? Because remember, no,
because they bumped into Black Widow. She was the only
that's where it was
survivor.
happening. It was happening in Ultron's original universe.
So how was Strange's time stone working?
Maybe he didn't use a time stone. Maybe it was just a power from the Eye of Agamotto.
Could be, because the Eye of Agamotto, which
Well,
they
did have
have
powers.
never. I wish they get
Yeah.
into Agamotto. That'd be great. But they never got into how powerful of a sorcerer that he was. But on top of that, during that fight, I'm pretty sure you remember this. There was a moment when the Soul Stone was separate.
And Doctor Strange swallowed it, and then it appeared on the floor. Did he shit it out?
I thought I was going crazy. I was sitting there watching, and I'm like, wait, didn't he just eat the stone?
I think he shot it out.
Yeah, he's by a
Nope.
quick
Oh
digestion.
shit, guys, get it!
Hurry, go get it.
No, forget the fact that I have a sling ring and it's on the floor and I can just teleport it to me.
Yeah, right. Look,
He didn't even need the sling ring. He was basically a god.
Yeah, because he consumed all those different
Yeah.
beings. Like, I don't know, that whole thing. And then in the end, they do the fight was cool. I want to talk about the fight a little bit, because Doctor Strange specifically did some crazy shit.
Yeah,
He duplicated Mjolnir.
yeah.
That was
sick.
crazy. All the different Mjolnirs and doing what Mjolnir can do. I was like, wow, this Doctor Strange is
Bro.
crazy.
So, since we're talking about the
Uh-huh.
fight, what did Killmonger do during the fight?
Exactly what all the other humanoid people did, and was just like throw a jab here and there.
Did he?
That was it. That was it. But that's the thing. We'll get to that
No,
now.
but like at least the Captain Carter and Black Widow had the vibranium shields to fight him.
Yeah.
What did Killmonger do? I honestly don't remember him
Killmonger's
doing anything.
entire purpose was for the end. Because in the end, when you see Killmonger put on that armor, he takes the stones, right?
Yeah,
And then you see the Vision body get up with Zola,
yeah.
and they're battling for the stones. Doctor Strange realizes we were never supposed to win.
Yeah, okay.
That means the Watcher knew Killmonger would do that. Killmonger will try to take the stones. He knew Zola or something would combat him trying to take the stones, and they can encase them in their own little dimension.
But now I'm a little confused. Did they put them in a time loop or something?
I think they're literally stuck in a pocket dimension and just fighting for it, which is a big like question mark.
Because one's gonna
Because
eventually win.
or they can just agree to help each other get out.
Debatable.
Yes, debatable, but
because
it
I only
can't
say
happen.
debatable because of personalities.
Yeah.
But even then, like either that or one of them's gonna win. Then they can just break out. And you said,
but
Doctor
I
Strange.
I think that was the point. I think they were the combination of that, that new body he made and then the original Vision body kind of had the impression it's like it's equal, so they're forever gonna be in that moment trying to take the stones from one another.
Mhm.
And that's why the Watcher was just like,
But then,
hey, you
but
gotta
then again,
stay
Doctor
here.
Strange did say, "I'm gonna sit there and watch him."
Anyway, because
But
you never know.
from what we've seen with Ultron, one of them's gonna win. He's not strong enough to stop them.
Yeah.
So what's the point of him watching them if he's not? Oh man, they're back out. Guardians of the Multiverse.
Yeah, and
We
it's
gotta do this
funny that
again
you
and
say
lose again.
that because Killmonger immediately picked up, like, was controlling everything as Ultron did.
Yeah.
Like, Ultron had to evolve into that. Thanos didn't even, who will slap Killmonger,
Yeah.
didn't even get to that level with the stones immediately. You can argue it was the armor, the Ultron armor, and, because he had his
But
vibranium
wasn't that
suit.
Ultron armor made from the Reality Stone?
I think it was vibranium because Killmonger managed to,
No,
using his
yeah, it
suit,
was. It probably
like,
was made of vibranium, but it was still when Ultron first made it. He made it with the Reality Stone. You
yeah.
saw the red,
Mm-hmm.
and it went around him. So that means he was so broad, like he was able to do what Ultron did with the Reality Stone and just make himself full armor. And for some reason, made it look just like Ultron's.
No, he took Ultron's, remember? Because then the Vision body was naked.
Yeah, that's what.
Was
That's the
naked.
confusing part. Because it's in the beginning, it showed Ultron grab all the stones, and then he used the stones to make
To create that outer,
So it's
skeletal
like,
structure.
and from what we've seen in Infinity War, once you stop using the Reality Stone, everything goes back to normal.
I see what you mean. I understand what you mean. I didn't understand you at first. Yes. I
So it's
see,
like it
yeah,
doesn't
I
make
see what
sense
you mean.
how
It
he
doesn't
was
make,
able to use that armor.
like, it's like he had to, the moment Ultron was done, the armor should have
Should have
just,
disappeared. Unless it wasn't the Reality
unless
Stone,
with the
and he
Reality
made
Stone, you can control whether it's permanent or not.
the only thing other than that, the only thing I can think of is maybe it wasn't the Reality Stone he was using, and at that moment he just used nanotech.
Maybe, I
Even
don't know.
though Age of Ultron happened before Tony made
Yeah.
nanotech.
That's true. That's true. But the cool thing is Peggy got her happy ending and she
Yes.
was alive. It's good stuff.
And she saw that.
But here's one thing with that. Didn't he say they weren't gonna remember?
Yeah,
She remembered.
What did she remember?
Somebody makes a comment about something happening, and then she looks at them and goes, that's not the craziest thing I've experienced all day." Like, in the end, like, she knew. She still remembered having done what just happened, which didn't make sense to me because I was like, didn't the Watcher just say they're gonna
Did
be
he say
sent?
they are not gonna
Yeah,
remember, or the
he
people?
said you're gonna be sent back to the moment I picked you up, and you won't remember any of this. But she remembered.
What was happening when he grabbed her?
She was fighting backtrock.
Valtrov?
Oh my god, I'm getting his name. The guy from Falcon and the
Yeah,
Winter
yeah.
Soldier and all. Yeah. Because after that, like, yeah, she knew. She still remembered, and it was just like,
Are you sure?
what makes
they
her so
hinted at her
special?
still remembering?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
100%.
rewatch
After
it.
this, if we watch the end, that little end part, it's like, I don't know. I mean, the whole show is a bunch of just question marks. Title even has one. So
Plot holes and
here's a couple things that I talk, not necessarily about what if, but like, the whole Marvel universe and stuff. It makes sense why this is happening now with Ultron and the What If series, because the TVA, this guy Kang, and the whole TVA, well, not Kang, well, the one above all, he who remains, the one above all. I'm saying every name but the actual one. He who remains, obviously we still haven't figured out what moment like really triggered the multiverse collapse. But that was it. You know, we saw in Loki, he was like, all right, anything can happen now. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because think about it, TVA had those detectors to detect if you were a machine. Right? It's
Ultron.
making me wonder if Ultron was their biggest threat. And they knew that. So they probably pruned every timeline that Ultron won. Just when he was about to get too strong, they probably pruned it. Because they couldn't take the chance of him winning. Because think about it, TVA was straight technology. There was no magic.
It also could be Kang could have sent something, a machine. He was a genius in science and
Yeah.
engineering, so that could be another reason why. But think about it, it makes sense. Machines are the biggest threat in the entire universe.
Mm-hmm. Because in
Most of everything that has caused the near destruction of the universe has been because of a machine.
Yeah. And in the Marvel comics, I forget which one. I don't remember if it was Age of Ultron, not Age of Ultron. It was pretty much after Age of Ultron, like upping his wins. He defeats Kang, takes over, a big
Yeah.
chunk of space and all this stuff, and so it was like it would make sense. It would make sense if that's what the TVA was afraid of Ultron becoming. But at the same time, I have this like a little argument of them showing the fourth timekeeper
Yeah.
and the timekeepers being machines. It's like maybe that's someone else that they were also
They just didn't
scared
want
about.
the other timekeeper to come.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't it doesn't make sense. Cuz those timekeepers didn't think for their own.
I didn't think so either, but it's like, but they showed in the end, they showed that fourth statue that was
Yeah.
broken, and then detecting if you were a machine. So it's either the timekeeper or Ultron, or some
Yeah.
type of they see AI and technology as a threat, even though
Yeah.
that's all they run on. So I don't know.
It's weird.
I hope they start tying it more into the MCU and not pull some like, yeah, Agents of Shield, yeah, it's part of the MCU, but like we'll just give you a newspaper or two to show you that.
And another thing with the
Like,
whole multiverse collapsing, I think they already told us why. In Loki, they passed the threshold.
but he never said what that threshold was.
It's probably beyond him. That's why there is a threshold. That's why he wanted to make these two the next timekeepers or wherever.
Yeah, because in the comic books there are people way above his power,
Yeah.
and they made him seem like he was God in the MCU. So it was like,
But not really.
no, not really. But
Because
think
he
about
used tech.
think about how when the moment they introduced Kang and Loki, how they try to make it seem like everything before him
He
was
Who
so
Remains.
insignificant. Yes, I'm sorry, He Who Remains. Yes, how they made everything so insignificant before him. The stones were useless there. Thanos is no threat then if the stones are useless. You know what I mean? They made it seem like this is the next wave of like you thought everything was strong and powerful and big and bad before. That's nothing compared to what's coming next.
Yeah, like he was just trying to prevent anything that has the power to pretty much override the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just trying to take them all out and
Yeah.
make sure they can't. But we would have to really think about the threshold part because I feel like that has to do that 100% in my opinion is the reason why all of this is happening.
I'm sorry.
Because you have to remember, he made it seem like that threshold point was the point
Of
in
no
which
return.
he was the last to live. So after that point, he kind of like I would assume went back in time.
And like restarted.
Yeah,
Time
and restarted everything,
in a way.
and he cannot see past his death, like the Ancient One.
He can't see past his death, and that's when he would die, regardless if they took over or not.
Yes, that was the threshold. Because he can no longer
Would they
control
call
everything.
it in the what if? When this
Absolute point.
an absolute point.
But then again, absolute points don't exist there because they're
Yeah.
outside of time.
Yeah.
And which again, it's kind of weird because all these multiverses clashing. Wouldn't the idea of an absolute point not exist?
Yeah. Especially with infinite possibilities.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
how is there supposed to be an absolute? Then what? Like, huh? I guess it's absolute points
again-
only count per timeline.
Then again, Ultron. This whole show is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's what happens. I mean, I think we kind of saw this coming when they were dealing with multiverse and time
I
travel
mean,
and like,
they did decide to call the Doctor Strange movie Multiverse of Madness. It seems like their goal is to confuse everybody.
yeah, right,
Like,
madness.
really think about it. They keep releasing all these things trying to explain time and timeline, and then completely contradicting everything they're saying before.
Mm-hmm. They establish rules and then break the rules right after.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's like, come on, I understand these are comic book movies, but they're
But
still movies.
right, give us some
Establish
explanation,
something.
right? Some ground rules, something.
Yeah. Like, you have us sitting here trying to, like, I don't know. I feel like not establishing rules like that is a dumb way of trying to do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It kind of leaves it like it kind of gets boring in a way.
yeah.
It's
Because it's
like
like
anything you can
the
do.
fun part is trying to predict what's going to happen, and the best part is getting it right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now you're making it where we literally can't predict what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. We've so many people came up with so many theories for so much
That were
shit
really good
over
too.
that were amazing.
That were really
And
good.
it's not like I'm mad about them being wrong. I'm just
Their
mad.
ideas were sometimes better than what actually happened.
Yeah, not only that, but also for the fact that it's just like we're making all of these things, and then we make these theories, then they come out with a new movie or show, then it contradicts everything beforehand. You're like, okay, so now we have to try and find a way to come up with different theories, and it's just like you can't come up with
Ooh,
theories.
sorry about that.
Oh, did it move? How did I move it? You can't come up with theories now.
Yeah.
It's like literally that now they're doing it to a point where it's like no one can predict what's gonna happen. And I feel like George R. R. Martin said it the best. Like, if you want to properly storytell, you have to have what you're gonna have set.
Yeah.
Just because someone predicted what's going to happen, that doesn't mean you need to change it.
Yeah.
Because doing so ruins the flow of the story and kind of deviates the plot of what you were gonna do.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys keep doing all of these things and then changing them.
Yeah.
It's just like you're ruining the flow of what's happening.
Yeah. Because then it leaves us like what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just true. I don't know.
I feel like if they're gonna separate all of these things, just do it already.
Mm-hmm.
Make them all part of the MCU, but separate them. Already.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're confusing
like
everybody.
they're trying to like fake tie everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you.
It's like do what they did in the beginning. Everything was connected, but they
Its
all,
own thing at the
they were
same
all
time.
doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Like look at Agents of Shield. You had what was happening in the MCU plus Agents of Shield, and they were both in the same universe, but completely separate.
Yeah. That's so true.
One thing didn't necessarily affect the other.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what happens next. What do we have next? Eternals? When it comes to Marvel?
And Hawkeye, November.
Yeah, 2 things in November. Yeah, and DC, I don't know what they've been doing, but Titans is okay. Let us know what you guys think. You guys love Squid Game? Is it really the best Netflix show? Is What If gonna be any better in season 2? Comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know what you guys think. See you all in the next one.